Over the past week or so, there's been this exchange online between, I don't know what his full name is, Geo something another, the Bitcoin power opinion guy. I refuse to call it by what he refers to it as anymore. And then British HODL. And there was a debate, air quotes. It was more of a kind of a shouting match, really. I don't know. There was times where there was some shouting, but it was sort of a you're wrong, no, you're wrong kind of thing. And Geo, as typical, went throwing around insults as he's wont to do. And what I've seen surrounding that whole drama, I guess would be the simplest way to describe it, is a number of people saying, hey, let's just let bygones be bygones. Let's leave each other alone. Different people have different opinions. It's not that big of a deal. What does it matter? Just move on. And even British HODL, after the debate, said something to the effect of, we had the debate, it's over, let's move on. Please don't be mean to Geo. Let's kind of shake. He apparently sent him a message. British sent Geo a message saying something like, let's just move on from all this. And next time we're in the same neighborhood, let's share a bottle of wine. Something to that effect. And I don't agree with any of that at all. Not even a little bit. I think that bad ideas need to be utterly and unequivocally, relentlessly shit on, repeatedly. Now, if the person with the bad ideas wants to keep on spouting their utter nonsense, that's fine. You can do that. But this is the beauty with free speech, as long as we still have it. If somebody has bad ideas, they need to be called out. Aggressively, relentlessly, systematically, shredded for their bad ideas. Now, I don't think that name calling and personal insults play into that. It can be hard to avoid them, but I think that they should be avoided. What I'm saying, if it's not clear, is that the idea needs to be attacked. And this whole idea of this power opinion thing being useful for anything other than fun and just another piece of opinion, another little blip on the radar of all the different opinions and ideas that people have about Bitcoin, it being treated with any more seriousness than that, I think, is a major mistake. I had a bit of a back and forth. Maybe I can find it. Let me see if I can poke through my history and see if I can find this thing. With a guy, he's part of the Bitcoin advisor team to some degree. I don't know exactly how the Bitcoin advisors work. I think you apply to work with them, and then they say, yeah, you'd be a good fit, and there's some selling that's involved. I think I'm not like, you're trying to sell people on the idea that holding Bitcoin, their own Bitcoin, is a good idea. I think. Trying to find it here. Anyhow, he's part of this team. Okay, here is the back and forth. So, pull up OBS, and so I can switch this over so you can see this. Okay. Got a slightly new setup, so I'm still kind of getting used to this. Okay. So here, this is August 9th, though. August 9th. So as of my recording this, it's 5 days ago. British HODL said, if we inspired one person not to trade in and out of Bitcoin and just HODL, the debate was a success, in my opinion. I agree with that. I think that is the takeaway right there. The best line of the debate has to go to the professor for finally clarifying that Bitcoin, I'm not going to say it, is not what he has been claiming. Nor is it a model. It's a theory based on historical observation. Oh, look, here it is. This has done this, and here we draw a line. Wow, look, I have a line. showing what the history has done. Great? Oh, what the fuck does that matter? Okay. And then this right here. Please don't bully the professor anymore. That's what I disagree with. Bully the ever-loving fuck out of the professor. I'm not saying calling him names. I'm not saying insults. I'm saying you're wrong. This is why this whole idea is absolute dog shit and why it should not be adhered to. It should not. It should not be followed. It should not be paid attention to. It should not be given any amount of validation whatsoever. And I'll explain my thinking on that as we go down here. Promoting a debate is one thing. After the debate, we must shake hands. I don't agree. You don't always shake hands with your enemy. And if this is a bad idea, and it is, it's a terrible idea. It's a horrendous idea to try and use this to trade and be in and out of Bitcoin. Then that needs to be relentlessly shamed. Is what I said here. My favorite bit was when he tried to use the example of launching rockets into space, saying engineers use laws and prediction to do that. That's true. But humanity and free markets do not act in predictable ways. And that led to somebody saying here that, but people do respond in predictable ways. I don't know if he deleted all of his stuff here or why I'm not seeing it. Humans are very predictable. So you know exactly what you'll be doing every hour for the next week? Fear and greed. Yeah, okay, people have fear and they have greed. Oh, here's denial, disbelief. Look, here's a chart of things that happened in the past, so maybe that'll happen again. Maybe. I said, you didn't answer my question. Do you know what you'll be doing every hour for the next week? Yes or no? Your question is rhetorical and doesn't bring anything. It does. It's the point that I'm trying to make here, is that if you don't know what you'll be doing, then how can you know what humanity will be doing? Oh, well, even you, Del, and this is something that I've said. There was a professor, not this professor, some other professor, that had a jar of beans or jelly beans or something on his desk, and he would ask people to guess how many were in there. And individuals rarely got it very close, but as an entire class, they were almost spot on if you took an average of all the guesses. So the idea here with that, and what it kind of exemplifies or illustrates, is that groups do have a collective sort of consciousness as a whole, hence using the word groups. But that doesn't mean that you can set your watch to it. And if you can't set your watch to it, like you can when launching a rocket, like you can when doing different things with the trajectory of this, or aiming something, or planning the flight path of something, you can do those things because the laws of gravity and the laws of physics act in extremely predictable ways. It doesn't mean there aren't occasional surprises. Yeah, there are. But there are far more surprises with what happens at your workplace. You don't know exactly what's going to happen, and if Barbara's going to come and ask you to take this piece of mail when you're going down to the mail room, or if you could go here, or do you want to go to... You can't predict all that. And if you're asking somebody to put their money in a prediction, it's going to go down, so you want to sell now, and then when it's down, you want to buy some more, so that when it goes back up, you can rinse and repeat. So back to this here. Your question is rhetorical and doesn't bring anything. Humanity's free markets do not act in predictable ways. That is the interesting assertion of yours I'm responding to. And I said, your refusal to answer my question says a lot. If you can't even predict your own week, how in the world can you predict what millions of others will do? Who will the next president be? What will his impact on the global economy be? You don't have those answers. No one does. You don't know what the Fed's going to do. That's why people tune in to see. When people say, looks like it's going to be a good week for stocks. It looks like this is going to pop off. But you don't know. It looks like those things. There might be various indications, but you don't know. You don't know. People have been saying, British Auto was saying that it looked like, Joe Carlos Sari was saying that it looked like it was going to be a really big week for Bitcoin. Well, it's been a week. It's been one of the weeks of all time. It's at 59,000. Okay. Yeah. So when should you have sold? When was that point? Because it hasn't really done much. So maybe this wasn't the week. Shit. All these various indicators didn't go the way we thought they would go. Dang. Well, what do we do? I'll try again. He shows me a new chart. I said, you're on the Bitcoin advisor team. Are you telling your clients buy today, week, month, and sell now, sell, sell, sell? That seems completely unwise for someone that truly understands Bitcoin. My only advice to anyone about Bitcoin is buy and hold. That's it. And there's other side benefits to that strategy. I'll explain that in a moment here. Like I said, I was going to explain the buying and trading, why it's a really bad idea. I'm going to get into that here in a moment. What's in deep cold storage should be the vast majority of your stack. Trade is an anagram of retard. Okay, so here he is. I agree with Stefan here 100%. I could not agree more. You should have. I agree. I have a little bit in Cash App because it's so easy to buy there. And I have the direct deposit set up so I can get Bitcoin with zero fees. I don't know of anybody else doing that. It's incredible. So I do have a small amount in Cash App, but it's like I said, a small amount, like dozens of dollars, $50-ish worth at a time usually. Not much. And then I transfer that into cold storage. Once I reach a few $100s, transfer it in cold storage. Transfer it in cold storage. Trade is an anagram of retard. However, LTH, I'm not sure what long-term hodlers distribute during bull markets and aggressively buy the lower standard deviations. Why not do it with less than 10%? I will never tell a client to trade. Okay, here is my problem with trading 10% at all. Number one, first and foremost, if you know that the best strategy for Bitcoin is to buy and hold, why are you playing around with even 10%? For the hope that you can make some more money? Because it's fun? Is there some other hobby that you could do? Could you take the time that you're spending on trading? Let's say it's an hour a week. Just 1 hour a week. It's probably a lot more than that because you're looking at charts and you're doing it. It's probably way the fuck more than an hour a week. But let's just say, and a crazy example, that this person is messing around with less than 10%. So let's say it's 5%. They're screwing around with 5% of their stack, trying to trade it, trying to buy low, sell high. They're doing all this. And it's 1 hour of your week. Is there anything else under the sun that you could possibly do with that hour besides trading? Anything else that would be beneficial to your life? Anything. Could you meditate twice a week for half an hour apiece? 3 times for 20 minutes apiece? Would that be beneficial? Could you read a book for an hour a week? Could you practice your handwriting? Could you do some exercises 4 times, 15 minutes a day, 4 days a week? Could you learn something new? The fucking answer here is yes. Yes. Guaranteed you could do something that is more beneficial than trying to trade this 5% of your stack, spending that amount of time on that. The answer is unequivocally yes. You could be doing something else with that time. And it's even more egregious if you're spending 5, 10, 15 hours of your week. Oh, timing the market. I'm checking the price. Once again, I'm looking. Is it up? Is it down? Is it up? Is it down? Why not just follow Odell's famous and arguably the best advice in the entire Bitcoin space? Stay humble, stack sats. Could you use that hour, 5, 10, whatever it is, to make a little bit of extra money somehow? Could you start investing yourself in yourself to learn something that would make you some amount of money? And if you could invest that hour into something, maybe starting a YouTube channel, maybe writing articles, any number of 1,000 things under the sun, 10,000 things under the sun, 1,000,000 things under the sun, could any of them make you the amount of money that you would make from doing the trading? And if your answer is, well, 5% of my stack is multiple millions of dollars because I've got bajillions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, so you don't need to work at all. This is truly just a funsy, silly little thing for you. But that's not most people. Most of the people looking at this stuff for information about how to trade and how to buy are not doing well financially. They might be doing okay, but they're not in a great spot. How do I know that? How do I know that? Because just the other day, this is anecdotal evidence, but most people that are doing really well aren't following some wacky professor online that insults people every chance that he gets if somebody disagrees with him, even remotely, or even questions something about him. Just the other day, Elon Musk and Trump had a 2+ hour conversation. And before it started, there were some hiccups, and I was trying to find a stream of it, and because I couldn't get into the spaces, and I found on YouTube a channel called Meet Kevin, and I've seen a couple of this guy's videos. He does finance-related adjacent stuff, I think. He talks about Bitcoin, talks about stocks, all kinds of different things. He's got 2 million plus subscribers, so I was in there, and he was getting all sorts of people giving him money, $5, $2, $10, a few $100. And if somebody asked a question, it was almost certainly related to what stocks should I buy? What's a good dividend stock? Is this a thing that I should invest in? People are desperate to better their economic situation, to increase their financial standing in life. People are hurting out there. But following dipshit, dog crap, absolute asinine advice online that some fucking stupid ass model shows that you should do that and do this. What happens if you go down? Do you think the kind of person that is looking for that kind of information is going to have the wherewithal and the self-control to go, all right, I have 1 Bitcoin, so I'm going to mess around with 5 million sats. This is 5% of my stack. That's all I'm going to mess around with, 5%. What happens if they make one wrong trade and they're down 50%? Do they dip back into their full stack? Their 95 million Bitcoin Satoshis? Not 95 Bitcoin, 95 million Bitcoin. 95 million Satoshis. I tried to remedy it mid-sentence. Didn't work out so great. Do you think, like the gambler that thinks, just one more pull, one more hand, one more roll of the dice, this is the one? Do you think maybe the chances of that happening are decent? And if it's even one person that does not have the self-control to leave the entirety of their stack alone except that 5 million sats that they've agreed to mess around with, if even one person, even one single individual lacks that self-control to go, nope, no more. I made a bad trade, and I gotta do what I can with the few $100s that I have left. If even one person doesn't have that self-control, then this whole thing, pointing to my screen with the power law bullshit, it's not a law, the power opinion bullshit, you've hurt that person. That person is hurting now. They are in a worse spot than they were before they followed your stupid fucking advice, when all they had to do was just sit on their Bitcoin. Yeah, I know. That's hard. It is hard when you're seeing all these other people talking about, oh, these gains, and oh, I'm up this, and oh, I'm using this shit coin and that thing, and oh, I have the Pokemon cards, and blah, blah, blah. But much like the Instagram models and the people doing their trips and their vacations, they only show you the wins. They're only showing you the good things. The clip that's from Fortnite or Call of Duty that shows those no-scope, how many hours of that game did they have to play before they got that 1 3-second moment? Do you think that happens all the time? Because if they were that good, you would know about them. If they were in the gaming space and they were that good all the time, you would know their name. There's only one Shroud. There are other top-tier players for sure, but there are not people out there just single-handedly dominating lobbies to the extent that it looks like they're playing against brain-addled 5-day-year-olds, and they're the apex pinnacle of gaming, a South Korean savant. That person isn't out there. They're not out there. No. It's a curated moment to make you think this is really cool, and they hope that they get a subscription from it. It's all some way to bamboozle you. All Geo's bullshit is a way for him to make a buck. He wants you to go to his Patreon to sign up for his thing and get, I don't even know what possible benefit you could get from that. And so this is why, to bring this full circle, bad ideas need to be ridiculed into absolute oblivion. You need to dogpile. You need to witch hunt. You should absolutely pick bad ideas apart until there's no shred of it existing or standing any remote chance of being held up when it is exposed to the light. Now you might think that I have further thoughts on this, about other bad ideas that need to be exposed. No. This is entirely about this one thing. This one thing. Because the part that bothers me the most, by far, is that people that are hurting, people that need money, they're already trying to scrape things by. They found Bitcoin. They've done 100, 300 hours worth of research into this, and they're convinced this is the best form of money that has ever existed. You come along with something that is talked about by enough people that seem kind of smart, and boy, they got a lot of followers, and there's a bunch of people paying attention to them, and wow, it looks like they have some history in the finance markets, and they're paying attention to this. Boy, maybe I should check it out. Maybe I should follow some advice. Wow, he's got this group, and I can sign up, and he's going to tell me when to buy and sell, and it really would be nice if I could make $1,000 real quick, especially we're climbing towards the end of the year here, and Christmas is going to be around before I know, and I'd like to get my wife or my boyfriend or my girlfriend, my friend, whatever, something a little bit nicer than a card this year that I made from an old grocery store bag. That'd be kind of cool. You're thinking all this stuff. Yeah, maybe I can sell some of my stack right here and then buy it all back. Boy, if I could make $1,000 and effectively not lose any of my stack, that'd be pretty cool. I guess it would. Or you can just be patient, which is one of the hardest things in the world, to just stay humble and stack sats and sit on your growing pile. It's tough. It's really fucking tough. Especially when you've got all this billboard, Times Square, bing, 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 make money, do this, yield, 10% gains, make $1,000 by sitting on your ass and fingering your toes, sell feet pics, OnlyFans, make easy money, Just keep your head down, do what you know how to do, and then try to add to that by learning something new. And for the love of God, just follow Odell's advice. Stay humble, stack sats, and then Odell's advice is shame and bully and ridicule the idiots. Now, I'm not going to go into this part, but it is a whole nother subject. How do you know when somebody's an idiot? How do you know when somebody is worth ridiculing and shaming? That's tough. That's tough. But one thing, and I'll end on this, one thing that is a pretty good indication, not always, but a pretty good indication, is if there's a decent chance that you're going to lose money, and there's a really good chance that they're going to make money. For example, sign up for my program, which costs money, so I'm guaranteed to make money, and you'll get some information that might make you money. That should probably be ridiculed. They're guaranteed to make money, and you might make money. Ooh, that doesn't sound like a good trade to me. Doesn't sound like a good trade to me at all. So try to learn a skill, try to learn a talent where you will guaranteed make money, selling a product, selling a service that also guaranteed benefits the customer. If you make coasters from wood, and you know how to do that, and then you go and you open a store online and you sell it to people and they give you some Bitcoin for that, then they know they're getting a coaster that will hold their drink and keep the moisture off their table. It's a win-win. If you're Ben Justman and you're making wine, he's out there working on his wine, he sells the wine, he gets the Bitcoin, and the person gets the wine. That's a win-win. Those are guaranteed plus win-win situations. Look for those opportunities and avoid the shortcuts.